Welcome to the PharmaSource podcast. On today's episode of the PharmaSource podcast, live from CPHI Milan, I'm joined by Hywel Woolf, who is Sustainability Lead at Sharp. Hywel, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
So to kick off, I wonder if you could just give us a quick elevator pitch for who Sharp is, the kind of services that you offer to biopharma customers, please.
Okay, so Sharp is a leader in commercial packaging, clinical services and sterile manufacture. Bulk of our business and operations are based in the US, out of Pennsylvania, but we also have a facility up in Lee, Massachusetts, which is Sharp Sterile. Then we have facilities across the EU in Hamadakel in Belgium, Heerenveen, which is more a clinical site in the Netherlands, and our UK facility in Rumney, which is predominantly a clinical site as well. So the business is split roughly between sterile manufacture, clinical and commercial.
Okay, great. And then thinking about your role, so do you work across all of those different divisions, all of those different service areas? How's sustainability sort of interwoven within that structure?
I do, yeah. So I've been in post now for just under 18 months. My role or my job title is Global Sustainability Manager, and I work across or with the managers of each facility, the department heads. And over the past 18 months, it's been understanding the business, understanding what we do, how we do it, and who we do it for. And they're the key building blocks and understandings that we need to develop our sustainable strategy and kickstart our sustainability journey in earnest.
And so, I mean, in terms of your own personal background, have you always been working in sustainability?
I have. I won't say for how long because that will age me. But my degree and my master's is in related topics. My master's was recycling technologies and power systems. Since then, I've worked in a number of sectors: consultancy, construction, heavy manufacturing. But it's always been sustainability. It's always been environmental management. So it's the same topic, the same content, the same desired outcomes, but a different application in a different sector. And I'm thoroughly enjoying working within the pharma sector.
Great. And there's such a focus, obviously, within pharma on trying to hit those net zero targets, which everyone is signed up to.
It is, absolutely. And we've seen it here over the last day or so at CPHI. I dare say that a couple of years ago, sustainability, ESG, corporate sustainability would not have been on so many organisation stands. But now it is. It's key that it's a golden thread to who organisations are and what they intend to deliver. And that is a more sustainable outcome for not purely for compliance and regulatory reasons, which is a big driver, but also is consumer, client, end user led, and that's quite clear here in CPHI for sure.
And so across your business, commercial packaging, clinical services, sterile manufacturing, all quite different businesses. As you've come in and you've sort of assessed where they're at in terms of their sustainability impact, do you have common KPIs across the business? How are you sort of figuring out where each business is and what the priorities are?
Yeah, that's the difficult bit. So the business is slightly different, but from a sustainability perspective, it's largely the same. We consume a lot of materials to do what we do, and unsurprisingly, that is going to be the biggest challenge for us. And that is the biggest challenge for our clients. That is Scope 3 emissions, particularly purchased goods and services. Purchased goods for us account for around about 58% of our complete total footprint. So there lies the challenge. And what we've been doing, or what I've been doing, is understanding, why do we use the materials that we use? What other alternatives are out there? And what does it take to make that change? And whether it is Sharp-led where we can, or whether we influence our clients. So our clients and our customers, the majority of the time, have the control in what we use on their behalf. So what materials we pack their product in, evidently. So we are looking at alternatives, having that positive discussion with our clients and our customers to say, Scope 3 is a challenge for you, it's a challenge for us, so we can help reduce your Scope 3 emissions and at the same time reduce ours. But we get into that conversation piece now. Up until this point, we've been putting in some clear foundational building blocks in place to allow us to do that.
Yep.
So that means we are science-based targets, SPTI committed. We will, by the end of this year, beginning of next year, submit our targets for verification.
Great.
We disclose to CPD. Yeah, CPD. It's been a long day.
Yes.
We just submitted that last week. We are aligned with EcoVadis. EcoVadis is new for us.
Yep.
So we are on our first reassessment at the moment. We have had a fast follower badge, so a fast movers badge, so it tells us that we're improving and progressing and maturing faster than what EcoVadis would expect for us.
EcoVadis does seem to have become a real industry standard. Everyone seems to be using it to track emissions.
Yes, they are. Not so much tracking emissions is part of it, but it's more of a broader ESG lens and scoring outcome really through EcoVadis. So we're aligned with it. Our clients have asked us and asked us would we align with it and work with it. We are. We would like to, I suppose, progress faster than what we have, and we will. It takes time. Sharp is a relatively young organisation, so we have lots of opportunity to progress, lots of support internally, and lots of appetite, really importantly internally, led by our CEO and President, that we will progress and we will achieve bronze, and we'll go on from bronze to achieve silver and whatever comes after.
Great. And you're also a founding member of Alliance to Zero.
We are, yeah. So along with other organisations such as SHOT, Schreiner, Datweiler, Korber, apologies if I missed anyone out, but we are founding members of the Alliance to Zero, and what the Alliance to Zero is a supply chain initiative which have come together to work together across the supply chain, identify solutions to decarbonisation, and identify problems and questions as well. So we all have an impact or a part to play along the medical device supply chain. So we've decided to focus our efforts on medical devices, understanding and identifying where the hotspots lie in terms of carbon. So we've done a product carbon footprint on a medical device, and that allows us to take that information, focus on those hotspots, introduce new solutions, and ultimately reduce the embedded carbon within the life cycle of the medical device.
And that's 58% sit within your scope 3 emissions, that's that with suppliers. How are you finding that journey, bringing the suppliers along with you on this path?
That's key for sustainability. That's what my experience tells me, that to drive sustainability and to drive improved performance and sustainable outcomes, you need collaboration, and we are progressing collaboration and supply chain engagement, accelerating that. In fact, whatever our strategy tells us, whatever our goals are, whatever our clients ask us to do, our supply chain is critical, our value chain is critical for that. So we put foundational building blocks again in place to allow us to engage positively with our supply chain. But importantly, we don't want sustainability to be a huge lift for our suppliers. This is a journey, and to get them engaged and to get them on board and support us, we don't want to hit them with a 120 questionnaire. It's a journey. It's about supporting them as well as they are supporting us. So we have a supply chain, I won't name it, but we have a supply chain ESG risk software in place, which has allowed us to engage with over 200 of our suppliers across tier 1, tier 2, understand their performance, understand their strong points, but importantly identify areas where they could improve and provide that support to allow them to improve.
Great. And you've recently, I think, become members of the United Nations Global Compact Initiative as well. For those who maybe haven't heard of that before, could you just explain what it is and why you've decided to join?
Yeah, so we see the UNGC as another foundational building block for us moving forward. And with support of our President, our CEO and our SLT at Sharp, we jumped at the chance to align and commit ourselves to it. So the UN Global Compact is based on 10 principles which span E, S and G. So it's everything from anti-bribery through to environmental concerns. Everything is included in there. It's seen as, in my opinion, it is seen as one of the benchmarks. It's obviously UN-led, it's aligned to the UN SDGs, so it provides us with a framework, if you like. So we will be disclosing our progress against those 10 principles going forward on an annual basis. and that provides us with that annual drumbeat, annual disclosure to say this is where we are, this is how we progress in, this is where we progress in, and from a governance point of view, particularly, that framework is really important for us to mature from a governance perspective. So it's important to us now, but it'll be more important to us as we move forward as well.
Great, thank you. And what's next for you then? So thinking about 2025, are there any sort of key strategic initiatives which you think are going to be the next priority, whether that's wider ESG or decarbonisation? What's top of your list of priorities for the year ahead?
Really good question, and the short answer is a lot, but legal compliance and regulatory compliance is up there for us. We need to be compliant, obviously, so at the moment we're assessing CSRD, where that is applicable to us, when it will be applicable to us, and put in, again, more foundational blocks in place to allow us to be compliant with regulatory, legislative elements such as CSRD. From a decarbonisation perspective, it's about, again, understanding what we do, how we do it, but importantly moving towards more these are solutions which could help our clients and help us achieve whatever goals we have. We're doing that here today at CPHI. We have a few examples of what more sustainable outcomes could be and what that could look like for our clients, and that's everything from a more sustainable board stock, is more reusable circular plastics that we could use, so keep them in that high value chain. They don't drop out and be recycled into park benches, they come back as, for example, whip trays, in process trays, and the list goes on, really. Yep. 2025 is going to be a challenging year for us, but an exciting year for Sharp. I think it's where our strategy will be launched, it's where our goals will become clear, it's where we engage further with clients to enable us to meet our goals, but importantly enable them to meet their goals as well.
It's a challenging role, isn't it? Sustainability. There's so much to it. It's so complicated. But,
absolutely.
But do you find it fulfilling on a personal level?
On a personal level, yeah. This is the reason why I do what I do and have done what I've done for so long. My interest and I suppose passion in sustainability started at secondary school. I had a really, really good geography teacher, and it just, this is, again, I'll give my age away, but this is late 90s. So sustainability really wasn't a trend there. Recycling was talked about, but it's moved really, really quickly. I'm glad to be part of it, and I live and breathe it. So at home, it informs our purchasing. So I got 3 kids, 3 boys, huge handful, but our purchasing and what we consume in terms of grocery shopping every week, we look at what plastics we're consuming and how that ends up. Does it go to recycling? Can it be recycled? And it's something that my kids live and breathe as well. So I'm also a coach for under 10 soccer team, and they are the most sustainable, conscientious, intelligent group when it comes to sustainability and environmental management, which you'll probably find.
Amazing.
Out there. Yeah.
I mean, how do you make soccer sustainable? That's another question in itself, isn't it?
So I last year, thanks to Sharp UK, allowed me to do volunteer days. So I've used one of those volunteer days with a colleague of mine, Nicola, back in the UK, to go to a local primary school and to talk to them about sustainability, what it means for them, how they can influence their parents maybe at home, how they can behave slightly different to have different outcomes, and to understand why this is important. This is a generational thing. Yes, it's our generation, but it's for those future generations to come. Something that I really believe in. I've done a piece of work with a former Future Generations Commissioner for Wales back home, and that sort of forward-looking lens of what's to come and legislating and understanding how decisions we make today can influence the unborn is really, really important to me.
Hal, absolutely fascinating speaking today. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. I enjoyed that. Thank you.
To keep up to date with the latest in biopharma outsourcing, sign up to pharmasource.global. Thank you for listening.